zone.
It's just that thought where it doesn't make any sense. 23 years. I'm not even like a hey, what's up? How are you? Honestly, it is what it is. Like, I've learned to live with it. In a way, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise because I've taken that whole experience and it has taught me to become the father I never was for my 2 daughters. I've taken an entire negative experience and I
Primary
learned
objective
what
is
not
to
to do
eliminate all targets.
because of it. So
Enemies are dropping
I've
into
become
the
a believer
area.
that everything
Watch the
happens for a
skies.
reason, and that's kind of how I've
Adding
been
ammo.
living my life, to be honest. Is this even gonna fit? Oh, look at that! It's sitting right on the rim. Only one way to find out. All right, moment of truth. Here we go.
Mag.
Oh, that was bad. That could have been bad. Forgot to remove the sticker. You know what? That's fine because we can adjust the fan. So that it's not sitting directly on there.
From across the
Okay,
fucking
let's lift it
sea.
up by like 1 notch. I think that's good enough. Beautiful. Look at that. You know those jokes I always make on my videos where
Adding
I'm
ammo.
like, has your dad left for milk and never came back? And I would always read like the upset comments
Reloading.
down below saying that, hey, you shouldn't make fun of people who don't have a dad. Little do they know, I'm in the same exact boat. I would never make a joke where I wouldn't be on the receiving end as well. So I speak from personal experience. So the case we're building inside of is the Deepcool CH560WH, and I cannot give Deepcool enough credit for being so committed to the color scheme. Like, everything is in the same color, from the power supply shroud to the PCI brackets in the back,
Requesting recon above.
the fans, and even the fan cables. So hats off to you, Deepcool. Also, I apologize real quick if you guys hear any baby noises in the background. My daughter Olivia has invaded the office, so she will be joining us for the PC build. You like the camera? You like the camera just like your sister. You like the camera just like your sister.
UAV standing by.
Whoa.
Attack on. Launch a
Multiple
UAV.
map containing enemy intel. Capture and secure it to get
Powering
ahead
the
of the
entire
next
build is a
outbreak.
1,000 watt power supply from Fantex. You can probably figure out why I went with this model
Enemy
specifically.
dropping into the AO.
Obviously because of the color scheme, but more importantly, 1,000 watts is more than plenty to power the entire system. This is actually the same power supply I'm using in both my PC and my wife's PC. It's also fully modular, but will be custom with some specific colors
Loading
from
fresh
cable
mag.
extensions to match the Starfield theme.
If we buy a low down,
Oh, it's gonna be a tight fit.
Some of your
Buy
squad is
station
outside the
sighted.
safe zone.
You can make it work. Oh yeah, plenty of space. Now that I'm looking at it, this does look a little too red, white, and blue for my taste. It's almost like a United States themed build, as opposed to the cables that actually come with the graphics card. The only problem with these is that they don't have any cable combs.
Cash here.
So it's not gonna look that good inside the system. One set has the colored
Your squad mate has reached the
cables,
intel.
and then the other set is
Joining
just
them
pure
will speed up
white.
the process.
Honestly, I think it's just better to go with this. All
Load
right,
that
final
drop, headed
piece.
your way.
Here we go.
Money here.
Intel point captured. Great work. You've earned a peek at the next gas spread.
boys and girls, here we go with Starfield loaded up on the PC. We are playing in 1440p ultra settings, so we're pretty much maxed out with FSR2 enabled. We are in the main city of Alpha Centauri, and we are getting in the 80s, average 80s, low 90s, depending on where exactly you are in the map, but that's not too bad, actually. Unfortunately, I can't even see any of the graphics card information. The only thing that shows for the GPU is the utilization. We're just at 90%. There's no clock speeds, there's no temperatures. MSI Afterburner is not playing nice with this specific 7900X for some reason. So we're gonna have to actually load up hardware info to get that. So temperatures in the graphics card right now is 68 degrees Celsius, which is really cool. It's actually still pretty crazy that even with the best graphics card that AMD has to offer, we still can't crack 100 FPS on ultra settings. That just goes to show how demanding this freaking game really is.
Incoming LDBR.
All right, let's lower down to high, see if that does anything. Okay, here we go. Now we're finally hitting 100 FPS. So we got essentially a 10 to 20 FPS boost just by lowering the settings down to high. Not bad. Oh wow, we're actually doing a lot better on a different planet, you guys. Look at that, 150 FPS in 1440p ultra settings. That's pretty impressive. CPU temps are also doing really well, 62C on the 7800X 3D.
Loading fresh
160 per year. Wow. That's freaking crazy, guys. That's the most FPS I've gotten on Starfield in ultra settings. This is like the perfect PC to max this game out. But yeah, overall, very cool Starfield build. Very happy with the way it turned out. I think all the colors work really well together, and the cooler is pretty freaking badass. It's nice that you can see the CPU temps, but I wish there was more customization available, like adding GPU temps, or maybe even a video or GIF would have really taken this thing to the next level. But it's still a nice feature to have. But yeah, I'll drop a link to everything I talked about down below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.
Just got a loadout for a pin bell.
Ladies and gents, let me introduce you to the next epic custom modded subscriber PC build. We are packing in the beefiest parts. We're doing custom paint jobs. I'm even busting out the 3D printer again for some really cool mods, and we got a juicy giveaway at the end. It's a jam-packed episode, so sit back and relax.
They got me.
Let's get started. You know what? Enough is enough.
Sit them in.
As comfortable as they can. That's what she said. Most advanced gaming chair. The most comfortable chair thanks to its unique functions. I think this is the one.
Marking contract.
Unprotected buy station detected. If you reach it in time, you'll receive a discount.
Whoa. Meet the Andaseed Kaiser 4, the ultimate butt buddy. Thanks to its 4-way built-in lumbar support, I can adjust it perfectly to my height and sitting position. You can move it up and down, in and out, and even unlock the pop-up lumbar system that responds to your movements and provides solid support. Even for those of you who look like shrimps sitting at your desks. You know who you are. The armrest can be moved in 5 different directions, so no matter what you're doing, you'll always find a comfortable position for your arms. My favorite feature though is the magnetic head
Enemy
pillow.
soldier
Made
incoming.
of cold cure memory foam with a cooling
Marking
layer,
contract.
it keeps your head nice and chilly. Paired with up to a 135 degree super stable reclining angle,
Reloading.
watching shows feels like heaven. You can get the Kaiser 4 in 10 different colors, and just for my subscribers, you guys can get $30 off your entire order if you use the
Still
code
have squad mates
at
outside the safe
checkout.
zone.
Plus, they are running a site-wide Black Friday sale where you can save up to $230 until early December. Check them out by clicking the links down below. You guys remember Galadex, my gorgeous white and green themed custom PC I did on the channel many years ago? That build was ahead of its time because no one was really modding and painting PCs like I was, and that's also why the video was viral. Well, I decided to pay homage to that build and do another beautiful white and green custom modded PC, mainly because those are the colors of the subscribers channel as well. You see, this subscriber is also a popular YouTuber that goes by the name of Cheap Pickle. You might have heard of him. He has over 3 million subscribers and does a lot of Minecraft content. And well, his channel's color scheme is green, hence why we are doing a green themed build. His max budget for the PC is $4,500, and just like all subscribers on the channel, he's gonna get some freebies. First and foremost, no tax
Contract
on any
failed.
required
You'll have to be
solutions
faster
already
than that,
a
soldier.
hefty savings. Speaking of
Capture
savings,
the enemy
we're
intel on your train. You'll get a look at the site of the next
It
gas
doesn't make
train.
sense paying full price for one when I can get one dirt cheap at VIP or CVP.com. Now they do sell all sorts of keys, including Windows 10, but for Pickle's PC, we are going with Windows 11 to take advantage of the new driver updates that are optimized for AM5 processors. But if you guys are picking up your key from here, make sure to use the code TS20 to get
The
a
enemy
discount.
lost track of
And
you.
after checking
Good
out,
work
click on
down
the user
there.
center on the top right and go to your orders to reveal the key. Then just copy and paste that into the activation settings and you're good to go. The CPU will come as no surprise to a lot of you guys watching, as AMD recently pegged Intel with the launch of their new 9800X3 processors, finally putting the nail in Intel's coffin, which
Capture
is very
complete.
sad news,
Element.
especially for people
Uploading
using
information
Intel
on the
from
next
very
gas
beginning.
train.
If you guys remember, Big Red version 1 had an Intel processor, and ever since then I've just been using Intel
Marking
for my
contract.
personal gig over 12 years, but unfortunately it is time to jump ship to AMD, which Big Red version 6 is doing. Can you feel the power? Oh man, so much power between my fingertips, guys. That is actually crazy. I definitely think Intel was at its peak at 12th gen. Everything after that, they've just been on a downward spiral, which is very sad, unfortunately. Now, for the motherboard, we're going to be tossing the CPU inside the X870E Aorus Pro Ice,
There's a
which
bounty
is
on your
really
head.
the best looking
Eliminate
white themed
hostiles and secure supply caches
motherboard in
to get rid
existence
of it.
currently. I know what I said about the Asus board in the past few videos. I'm sorry, Asus, I'm taking that back. This is the new king. I mean, come on.
I'll drive.
What need to say more, you guys? The EPS connectors aren't white, the DIMM slots aren't white, the fan headers aren't white, even the retention brackets around the socket aren't white. Like this, hands down, is the best white themed motherboard for sure. What's crazy is that this processor has been sold out ever since it was launched, like almost a month ago. Stock is very low, and scalpers have been buying these and reselling them every day for like almost double the price. But fortunately for me, being a tech YouTuber, I was able to pull a few strings
Capcom,
and
UAV
grab
in the
the
air.
unit for
I'll
Pickle's
drive.
PC, which is another big benefit of having you build
Right.
your PC. So
Advise
if
you to
you
load
guys
up now.
want me to build your
I'll
next
drive.
PC, hit me up on Discord. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm actually going to add in an AM5 contact friend free of charge, and this will, if I can get it out of the bag, this will improve the heat transfer between the cooler and the system itself, which will
Switching bags.
degrees depending on the cooler.
Break
Job
comes up.
done.
I use my
Good
new
work.
electric screwdriver that I picked up from Amazon to help me with the build process.
I'll drive. Marking contract.
Now, from memory, we're going with not only one, but two Lexar Aries DDR5 memory. Fortunately, we don't have any single 32 gigabyte module, so we're going to be tossing in 4 to
Loading
make up
fresh
64
mag.
You're the
gigs.
target of a most
So this will be
wanted
the first time in a very long
Eliminate
time
threats
we're going to
and
be
secure
populating
supply
all
caches
4
to
I'll
memory
drive.
slots. Also, these sticks in particular have built-in on-die ECC, which offers increased data stability and reliability. 6,000 megahertz frequency is where you want to be at the very minimum if you're building on an M5 platform. But in this case, we're going with 6,400 megahertz instead. Obviously, Cheap Pickle is a content creator like myself, so we will take
Squad
advantage
mate
of the 64
1 to 5.
gigs of memory
They're redeploying
compared
now.
to only 32.
Squad mate has entered the gulag. They'll need to survive to redeploy.
Bam! Oh, how I missed 4 memory sticks, you guys. This brings back good old memories. Now for storage, we originally decided on a 2 terabyte NVMe drive, but 'tis the season after all, so I'm going to double the storage, free of charge, of course. I'm tossing in the Lexar NM790 NVMe SSD with Gen 4 speeds of up to
Squad mate
7,400
redeploying to the
megabytes per
AR.
second read and 6,500 write, which is perfect for gamers and content creators like Pickle.
I'll drive.
I totally coached on this box.
Enemy UAV is online.
Reloading.
Objective
Break time's
complete.
over.
Now the case we're going to be building in
I'll drive.
is none other than the Luca L70. Yes, ladies and gents, I am well aware of that, but Trix has reassured me that they have taken all the feedback from their original prototype and they have refined their case. So what you see here is the improved version of the Luca, and the final case with all the changes that still need to be done will be ready around January of next year. The L70 is aimed to stand apart from the oversaturated
fresh
fish
mag.
tank cases. No, not that way. With a built-in convenient modular
I'll
system,
drive.
complete tool-free assembly, and support for dual 420mm radiators packed inside a stunning 75.2
Enemy dropping into the AR.
6000 series anodized aluminum frame. The L70 is not designed for the average peon, but the enthusiast that wants to stand out from the crowd. And oh boy, are we going to stand out after I'm done with this. All right, let's start moving panels. It's going to make it so much
Tally,
easier
mine.
to transport the case and move around. Track 1 slides up to smoke. Wow, very nice. This is going to make it super convenient to get inside the
Gas
case.
is inbound.
The O11
Marking
cases
two
Eyes on
spaces.
enemy.
work there.
86 fat.
In order to remove this front panel, you had to actually remove, I think, like 4
Switch
or 5
your
screws
mags.
in the back. It was very inconvenient, so I just left it as is. But yeah, this is going to be so much easier to get in this way, if I need to. We'll keep this closed for now. All right, so by default, the power supply shroud comes installed on the top, but with the mods I got planned with this case, it only works with the power supply shroud on the bottom. Plus, I'd much rather use that space to install my AIO. So let's go ahead and flip it. Luckily, unlike other cases, this only takes 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws to flip the entire thing. I know, it sounds crazy. Okay, I kind of lied. You have to remove 4 more screws, so total 8.
Move to the safe zone. You're losing ground.
That's not going anywhere. Reloading.
Okay, this feels like I'm doing something wrong because that was way too easy.
Precision airstrike available.
All right, now it's time for phase 1 of the mods, the custom paint job. I figured
Switching
it'd be a
mags.
lot easier to start now before we start building inside
Friendly
the case.
loadout
I don't
drops
want
on
to
the
go
way.
overboard with the paint because the idea is to give the PC accents that pop against the white, especially since we're going easy on the RGB lighting. I just want to add some color in the case that complements Pickle's brand. I'll be using the Rust-Oleum Gloss
This ain't on my
PCI
path.
brackets, the power supply shroud bracket, and I think it would be cool to paint the X base as well. That was until my ADHD got the best of me. I soon realized the base is attached to this side piece, and it would look kind of weird if only one part was painted and not the other. So I did what any sane person
Get a
would
UAV
do.
on grid.
I took that apart and painted it as well. And then soon after, I realized the side piece is connected to the top piece, and it will look weird if the other two parts
Need
are
cats on
painted
my grid.
and the top was left alone. I'm
Copy
sure
that,
you guys
Bravo.
can
3-1
deduce
is on
what
station.
happened. I
Units on.
UAV overhead.
Alright, so while we
Loading fresh mag.
Got gas inbound.
and
Safe zone
continue on
relocated.
with the build.
Correct hit.
I do want to add some
Do
lighting
not
inside of the
close
case so
until
that
further
Pickle can admire his PC at night. Although majority of the components don't have any RGB, it's still nice to add some white light to kind of showcase the components inside at nighttime. So I'll be adding this RGB motherboard frame in there first. That's where this front panel comes in handy. Oh, beautiful fit. Okay, now we gotta prep the motherboard for the cooler installation before we put it inside the case, and it's only natural to go with the cooler from the same company. The Trix Panorama AIO has actually gained a lot of media attention
Enemy
with
spotted.
its unique 6.5-inch AMOLED screen that gives you full visibility
Reloading.
from both angles. This actually comes in both ARGB version
Hostile
and a
UAV
non-RGB
in the
version,
area.
but I'm sure you guys can guess which one we are going with.
Squad's in
Equipped
the
with a
safe zone.
1440p resolution and a
Gas
60 hertz
closing in.
refresh rate. So we're going to be doing something very fun with it at the end. The AIO also features Asetek's 8th gen solution, which comes with a 3-phase motor for improved liquid flow, a thicker 30mm
Marshal
radiator,
requesting
and just
UAV
overall
tasking.
upgraded cooling performance. I love with the fans already installed. I love it. I love when companies do that.
Only 4 remain. Finish the job.
Oh yeah, it's looking good so far.
Loading fresh mag. Aces all day.
And that is why I wanted to shift the power supply shroud on the bottom to make room for the AIO on the top. And personally, I think it looks
You're
so
in the
much
top
better this
3.
way
Don't let up
as
now.
opposed to mounting it vertically.
Gas is
That's just
closing in.
personal preference.
Get to the new safe
So
zone.
now we have 3 exhausts on the top, which means we're gonna have to do intake for the side bracket over here. And then we have 1 more slot on the bottom here to install 1 intake fan as well. So total we'll have 4 intake and then 3 exhaust. Now for the intake fans, we're not just gonna install fans. I got a
Enemy
much better
UAV
idea.
is online.
I'm gonna throw in the fastest RTX 4090 in the world, and arguably one of the best looking as well. The highly sought out and extremely rare Galax RTX 4090 Hydro. In fact, it's so rare that you can only buy them on the aftermarket for over $3,000. Obviously, I'm not gonna make Pickle pay that outrageous price, nor am I gonna charge him the price
Squad
I
to the
paid
safe
for this
zone.
card.
Leave no one
Let's just say
behind.
he's getting the TechSource discount. You know, when your graphics card has its very own dedicated 360mm radiator, you know it means serious business.
Can do.
The only thing we gotta do is flip the fans because they're set as
Reloading.
exhaust instead of intake.
Enemy spotted. Final mag.
Unfortunately, we have to look at the ugly back, but there is really no other way
Enemy
around
precision
it.
airstrike. Find cover.
Fire. They got me.
Okay, so the radiator is gonna go in this way with the tubes on the bottom. That way, the tubes aren't touching at the AIO. Because if we were to go this way and go down, it's
Gas
gonna look
is closing
extremely
in.
bizarre
Relocating safe zone.
and weird. I feel like this has a much cleaner look. I'm not gonna install this just yet because we don't have the PCI bracket in the back. I did paint that as well, so we are waiting for that to dry.
Cheers, mate.
But we can continue
me.
on with the power supply installation. First comes out is the brand new Gamdias Helios 80
pretty
plus
area,
volt certified
assholes.
power supply, but it's also ATX 3.1 ready
Right, get
and
my
supports
buddy.
PCI Gen 5.1,
got gas
which is what all the
moving
new
in.
power supplies are running right now. An ATX 3.1 power supply will be more efficient. It will have better sensing of the pins of the cables, like for the PCI graphics card, and it will have more monitoring capabilities. This is also PCI Gen 5.1 ready, which includes power efficiency, increased signal integrity,
That's how it's done.
and reliability. To put it short, if you're building a PC, an ATX 3.1 power supply and system you want a better solution, especially depending on an expensive
I'm on
graphics
fire.
card like a 7900 XTX, a 4090, or even a 5090 when those come out. And I know what you guys are thinking right now, but the color of the power supply is not going to make a difference because the power supply shroud is going to cover it anyways. So the stock power supply cables clearly aren't going to cut it, so I'm going to be adding really nice premium cable extensions free of charge, of course. Also, back here, I'm going to show you guys how much space the case actually offers for cable management, and it's actually pretty crazy. You can judge it based off the width of this tray over here, and we have all this space inside the case to hide all the loose cables. And the reason why I bring this up is because unlike other fish tank cases that have a chamber, this one doesn't. So it's much narrower, meaning it takes up less space on your desk. I mean, of course, that means you get a taller case, but it's still pretty crazy how a narrow case like this still offers this much space for cable management. The case also supports a lot of storage devices. You can install up to 9 SSDs or 7 SSDs and 2 hard drives. You can slot in 3 SSDs over here and the rest go on this tray.